don't uppercut, don't uppercut. Okay, coach, no, don't uppercut. How many times I gotta tell you, don't uppercut? A good drill that you can do to fix that, and you can tell him this is Dustin Pedroia's favorite drill, and you wouldn't be lying. Okay? If you watch Dustin Pedroia hit, you know that he's a relatively little guy who takes a pretty violent swing. And to the naked eye, you would probably think that he does uppercut a little bit. He really doesn't. If you broke down his swing and watched it on video, you know, he's still getting, he's here. It's at point A to point B, it's his finish. It's really violent. He tries to hit the bottom half of the baseball so he can elevate it and all that stuff. But because he takes a violent swing, he could fall into, if he's going back, starting to dip that back shoulder, starting to dip the barrel and start getting pop-ups. And that's not what he wants. So to keep himself in check, he does a lot of high tee work, like an exaggeration drill to make sure he's working on top of the baseball. Not that you want to swing like that, you don't, I just said that, and that's not what he wants to do, but it exaggerates a little bit to keep him from going the other way. So he'll do a lot of high tee work. So if you get a kid who's struggling with uppercutting, tee we just talked about, find something that, you know, if you don't have a telescopic tee and it's just a fixed position, then you can put it on something. You can find buckets of various sizes and get it so for each kid, when you place the ball on it, always with the dot showing, okay, it would end up when he's in his stance, it would be at the highest point of the strike zone. You don't want to have it too high, so that when he's going to swing, he's got to kind of raise up and chop down. You don't want that, okay? You want to find something, whether you're using a cinder block to put a tee on, or whether a smaller bucket than this, or if you have a telescopic tee, the tee's probably big enough for most kids to get it to this point, but get it so that in his stance, that ball's at the highest point of the strike zone, and when he goes to swing, it's going to create point A to point B right away. Right? You can't do this and hit this ball. And you don't have to get too technical. You could just say, all right, Johnny, I want you to hit this ball from here, and I want you to hit it right here on the fence. Point to an area on the fence, put up a little target of some sort, and just hit it there. It sounds like you're not even coaching. You're just like, what we do that with our guys at Wheaton someday. There are some guys that you cannot get technical with. They just, it doesn't work. It's not how they learn. And so you just do something like I just explained. That ball here. And what's it creating again? A feel. They're feeling themselves take that direct point A to point B swing. And you don't have to get technical with it. You don't have to confuse them. You're just setting it up for them to just, hey, this is where it is, this is where I want you to hit it, and figure it out. You know? And they'll do some, and they'll do some, and they'll start to get it again. It's not going to change in a day. It's not going to change in 2 days, but over time, if they do this drill, if they do the T drills with points of contact, the various points of contact, what are they creating? They're creating muscle memory. And when a little kid creates muscle memory, that's how they get. That's how they learn. That's how they improve. That's how they get where you want them to get. And sometimes we just don't know the right words to say to get them there, right? But it's much more important that they go out and they do it, and they feel it, and these drills can be done. They don't require anything elaborate. They don't. Anything you can do with some kind of a tee, with a ball, and you can draw that dot. So all these things we're working on, a sight, a visual thing in terms of seeing the baseball. We're working on tee placement, whether it's outside, inside, middle, or high, that creates a feel of where they're contacting the ball in the zone, or a high tee drill where it's creating that A to B, point A to point B in the quickest fashion. And you didn't have to say a whole lot. You didn't have to do a whole lot. You're getting them to feel it. Okay? And then the front toss is just like the next phase. It's the next phase. It's something that keeps you from having to, throw BP over and over and over. And you get kids who they're not going to hit it. And you feel bad. And they keep throwing. And they're getting their 10 swings, and then they go stay in the outfield for half an hour feeling like a failure. Rather than organizing it where you can do something that, you can control the tempo. You can get it where, you'll be able to find a way to get that kid to have a little bit of success, and to feel himself hitting the ball. And maybe that kid who's struggling to hit the ball, you're not worried about points of contact with that guy yet. Okay, so I know that there's varying levels. You got 9 through 12-year-olds, you got 12, 10 or 11-year-olds, and you're going to have a couple guys that are way better than the kids, some of the other kids at the bar. So you have to adjust to each talent level. You want to have the tools to be able to talk to those kids who are exceptional, but you also want to have something that allows the kids who may not be exceptional to at least have some success, stay interested, and keep playing and maybe improve.